Take it away, Nickel Juice.
Welcome to another episode of Let's Rewatch, the show where we like to watch movies we loved in our youth and see if they're still any good. My name's Nick.
I'm Bret.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Ash. Excellent.
Party on, Wayne.
Wrong movie.
That's the one that we need to do.
I know. Hold on. Stop. Changing the movie.
Yes, we're watching Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. This is a great intro, isn't
We're
it?
nailing this.
Yes.
Do you want to start over?
My brain is soft from the heat. So you guys want to watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure from 1989?
Well, heck yes, I do.
Totally did.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going
Because
back.
it won the poll, right? The Twitter
Yeah.
poll.
Good job, Twitter.
So-
Good job.
What was in the poll?
What was in the poll?
You really
Hold
let me
on.
down, Twitter. For like the second time in a row, I put The Matrix on there, and y'all didn't pick it.
Sam really wants to watch The Matrix.
I want to watch The Matrix.
I really want to watch Running Man. On the next poll,
Running Man was also on a poll once and did not win.
yeah, we're gonna have like a losers bracket poll here.
Yeah.
We should pick the movies that we each want to watch the most that have never gone up there.
I feel like that's what we did this time because it was Space Jam, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Mean Girls, The Matrix. And Bill and Ted won by a landslide with 42%.
I'm surprised Space Jam didn't do better.
I expect you to insert guitar noises every time we say something about like Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure.
Is
Oh
that
my
what
God.
guitars sound like to you?
I just realized something. It's like, you know how the music from what's the Sleepy Time movie?
What?
Inception.
Oh,
The
what?
music from Inception.
Wait.
What?
It's just
Sleepy Time movie?
it's just really
You know, Sleepy Time Tea really should have done a tie-in promotional.
so the music from Inception is just really slowed down from an existing piece of music.
Is it really?
Yeah. And I can't remember. It's a French piece. I can't remember what it's
They
called.
play it a lot in the
Forget what
movie.
it is. Yeah.
Oh, right.
So is from Bill and Ted the guitar sound effect? Is it just a very fast version of the whistle?
Ew.
Take it back.
No.
So we're gonna visit again with our old pal Keanu.
I like Keanu. We can keep him.
Okay.
Pauly
Yeah.
Shore, we're ditching you.
Canal.
This is I think this is Keanu's second significant movie. He done
Done
did-
what?
Good, son.
He done
done
did
what?
a lot of stuff previous to this, but like really small things. Like what was that poster we saw? Teenage
Dream? or
Teenage
something?
Dream. Yeah. If you want to see like 17-year-old Keanu with no shirt, look at the poster for Teenage Dream.
He was the first dude you're getting Adele guy.
Was he really?
I think that was
like,
before
what?
Dells. So yeah, his first like major movie was Dangerous Liaisons.
Yep.
And then this was 1989, which
That's when I was 1
Me too.
years old.
wow. That's when your parents won you at the carnival.
Yes.
We're taking him home.
So I have an important question about Keanu for you guys.
Okay.
How old is Keanu
Currently?
Yeah.
Or in Bill and Ted?
right now, today?
Late 50s,
He's-
I think.
No, my guess is somewhere like 48, 49.
I think if the internet is to be believed, he's several hundred years old. We see pictures of him
go with that.
from throughout the eras.
Right. Yeah.
I
Being
think
sat
I'm
on the
right.
park bench.
I think he's older than we think he is.
I want to go with
100?
52. Secretly 52.
Secretly, Ash.
I said late 50s.
Bret, you are the closest. He is 53 years young.
Fuck.
Oh, man.
Yeah, can you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah, he is John Wicking in his 50s.
Good for him. He looks a lot better than the other guy that's doing action shit in his 50s.
Tom Snooze.
Tom Snooze,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise. So did you guys
Snooze.
did you guys see The Mummy?
TM.
No.
Did I talk about this?
No, let's hear it.
There-
How
there's-
bad?
Saw The Mummy?
Of course. I love those movies.
But you knew this wasn't going to be
Of course,
good. Why
I
would you
rented
do
it.
this to
I
yourself?
didn't go to the theater. But there's a scene where Russell Crowe is talking about
Wait,
how.
Russell Crowe's in it?
Oh yeah, Russell Crowe is Dr. Jekyll in this film.
Wait, Dr. Jekyll's in the Mummy?
Oh, they're making a whole connected universe.
Oh, man.
And Russell Crowe is saying to Tom Cruise, a younger man like you, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Tom Cruise is older than Russell Crowe by 2 years.
And he looks
Yeah.
it.
It is clear. It's like a 50-year-old or 55-year-old dude.
He looking rough at this point.
Well, he's looking good
okay.
for a 55-year-old guy.
The veneer is
Sure.
wearing,
But
though.
he is still trying to pretend that he's 30 years old.
He's
in all
a
his movies.
rough 30.
So you know Amy Schumer's sketch, The Last Fuckable Day, with
Oh, yeah.
I haven't seen this.
with
Very good.
what's her name? Julia Louis-Dreyfus? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. When are dudes' last fuckable days? I know they make the point that they don't have it, but he needs one. Tom Cruise.
We need to retire Tom Cruise.
He needs a last fuckable day.
mean,
It's past.
He is a middle-aged woman.
I think if you judge Tom Cruise based on normal people, he's looking really good. But if you gauge him based on the inflated ego that he presents to the world, then all of your spite right now is justified.
And if you gauge him on
think that's where we're coming
Scientology
from.
terms, he looks amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he's so pure, guys. So clear.
Yeah, no doubt Tom Cruise is in better shape than me. But
Oh yeah, better shape than me for sure.
yeah,
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Not me. I could out squat that guy probably.
he's not looking as young as he wants to be, I think.
Yeah, and that's the thing I take issue with. The character in The Mummy, like they never say it, but it's clear that character is supposed to be like 30 years old. And he's just not,
Yeah.
And Harrison Ford does stuff that is age appropriate and, and is great. He's fantastic. Like,
Yeah, I just saw American Made.
yeah,
You
then
saw
good.
it?
Yeah, for free.
Oh.
Thanks to not our sponsor, Movie Pass.
Movie Pass.
And-
Go fuck yourself until you give us money.
But yeah, he kind of like the whole movie. He looked like Tom Cruise wearing like a younger Tom Cruise mask. Like there was a lot of makeup on him.
Yeah, I felt that way in the trailer. Like his face just looked weird
Something was wrong.
with his face.
Yeah, I'd love to go see that movie
With your
again
face.
with you, Ash, because like there was just so much stuff technically wrong with the movie, but I'm not sure. Like I can't put my finger on like why every scene was bad, but it was technical reasons, and so I want to go with
Oh,
you
interesting.
and hear you rip it up.
Okay.
'Cause-
Which is another sad thing because I was such a big fan of the Mission Impossible TV series where you had like an older guy as the team leader and all of these younger people in the team doing their specialized stuff. They could have evolved this to the point where Mission Impossible 6 could have been Tom Cruise playing that role as the old team leader guy.
Tom Roll is like a worse version of Rick Roll. It's just this movie is terrible. The only thing we can do to make it good is put Tom Cruise in it. Let's Tom Roll it.
That's when you click on a link, but it actually turns out it's a video of Tom Cruise skating across the room in his underwear.
Yeah, Tom Roll.
You just got Tom rolled.
Yes.
But this isn't a movie with Tom Cruise. We're going to watch Bill and
No.
Ted.
Oh yeah,
Wait, Keanu's great in his 50s.
Yes,
You know-
he's so
Yeah.
much better.
I'm cool with like, John Wick is past his prime and still holding on. That's good for that character.
You know, I didn't see that film. Was it good?
I've heard it's really good.
I saw the first one is fantastic. Never got around to the second one.
Oh,
It's-
there are two.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one
Is
of those.
the second one? Spoiler alert. The one where they kill his dog and
the
That's
first one.
The first one.
oh,
It's the
That's
plot
the
of
whole
the
call to
first one.
action.
oh my god,
They killed his dog, and he's like, "Fuck that!" And then
That's
I
pretty
mean,
great,
if somebody killed Cherub or Spencer, we'd probably go John Wick on them.
Oh, I
Oh,
was
I wanted-
literally just telling Brett that yesterday that if somebody killed my dog, I would
I
fucking
want to see
murder
Sam
them.
rampage, and it turns into this whole action movie.
She turns into a She-Hulk. I mean, she can squat more than Tom Cruise, guys.
Tom Cruise, if you're listening, dude, let's go.
squat challenge.
Bring it. So, of course, our other huge star is international superstar Alex Winter.
I was just
Right.
gonna say, what else has this dude done?
Well, he was one of the Lost Boys,
Oh,
and that's about it.
They never found him.
Like, I can't really tell you anything else that he's been in. I think he was great in Lost Boys, but I think he's good in these movies. But yeah, not much that we've seen from Alex Winter. But we also have George Carlin.
What?
Oh yeah.
Seriously?
I guess I
You don't
forgot.
remember that?
He's the guy.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah.
He is a guy, yes.
He's the guy.
Oh, the guy.
Yeah, you remember the guy.
Yeah, the guy.
And
Is he Socrates?
No.
Oh.
So you remember Socrates, but you don't remember who played him?
Yeah.
Do you like Socrates on your salad? That's what that sounds like to me. It sounds like something you might eat.
Hey.
It sounds like a great name for a crepe place. Socrates.
So crepes?
So crepes.
So
Or
great sounds
shipping
like
place.
a knockoff container store.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh.
Socrates?
Yes.
So this film is directed by Stephen Herrick, who he's definitely one of those names that you don't remember. But we've seen him before. He directed Mighty Ducks.
Oh, great.
No.
The first
This
one?
does not bode well.
Yeah.
Danger,
the first one.
danger.
Oh, man.
Critters, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Oh.
Oh my god, is that on our list?
It should be. I'm adding it now.
Don't
good.
Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead or Critters?
Don't tell mom.
Now,
Yeah,
when I
I
think
love
of
that movie.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, there's like this trilogy. It's like Don't Tell Mom, Adventures in Babysitting, and My Stepmother's an Alien. They're like all movies of a similar flavor.
Interesting.
Oh, I just remember Earth Girls Aren't Easy was the other one I wanted to add.
Oh,
That's the one.
yeah, that would be super fun. And Johnny Dangerously.
Oh,
Earth
and The
Girls
Fly,
are-
which I think has been on our list for a while, right?
Yeah, Fly's great.
Guys from like original list. I was gonna mention it during the last episode's outro and forgot. And since I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna mention it. We're like well into year 3 of podcast, and we've never mentioned it on the show.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Yeah, I think this one might be like episode 9 or 10 of year 3.
Wow.
Wow.
Ooh, happy 3rd year birthday. Let's rewatch.
Yeah.
Wow, 3
Thanks
years.
for sticking with us, Ralph.
Yeah. We really owe you one, dude.
Thanks for being our listener. Traveling down the road and back again.
And everyone else.
So
Thank
I don't think we can watch this movie without acknowledging Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I've never seen it.
And adding it to the list again.
Yeah.
So that movie I've never seen. I've had many opportunities to see it. When I was younger, the local movie store always had like a copy prominently displayed on the aisle you walk down when you go into the store. And the cover of that VHS box like grossed me out.
Why?
Okay.
What
Do
is
you
it?
remember?
It's the dude's face.
You just can't stand his
It's
face?
Which dude?
The one that exposed the drug lord.
Wait,
Spoiler
spoilers?
alert.
Jesus.
That's a real life spoiler.
Oh.
Sean Penn.
Oh.
Expose the drug lord.
Yeah, that guy and that was the drug lord, and Sean Penn's like, "I'll come and interview you in South America," and then the FBI was fucking watching it and busted him, and Sean
completely
Penn busted the
forgot
drug.
about that.
Yeah.
He looks normal.
Oh my god, no!
No,
It's
he doesn't.
so
His
horrible.
face looks really long.
That one. That's the one. Nick's got it. He looks like
one?
he's 50 years old.
I mean,
As
he
a-
was a little old to be playing a high school kid.
So it was really creepy. You don't think he looks like he's like 50 already in that photo?
Well, we've got to look here.
This one, he looks like super Barbie doll photoshopped. Like the girls look real, and he.
That creeps me the fuck out.
So we know that I'm bad at math.
Wait,
So-
can we? Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I did not know that was Sean Penn until just now.
Yeah, me neither.
So he's 22 there, unless my math is failing me again.
What's the year he's born?
1960,
Okay. What's the year the movie came out?
1982.
Yep.
There you
Makes it
go.
22.
Nick does math on our podcast.
Math is
Welcome to the
fundamental.
math segment. Of the
What's
podcast.
sad is that the art student did better math than you.
Yeah.
Just,
Well, I'm a communication, or was a communication student.
all right.
He reads the scripts, not writes them.
Actually, I do write the scripts. But anyway, So I think that Bill and Ted as characters were very much based on Sean Penn and Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah, I
Okay.
can see that.
I think they wanted, like, some people saw that character and thought, all right, we want to make a movie just with that guy.
But wasn't that just the stereotypical, like scene then of it? We were transitioning into a time period where it was like trendy to be dumb.
Well, I think it's supposed to be that.
I think we're still transitioning to that.
Oh, we've fully transitioned.
We've gone full idiocracy.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was supposed to be this valley surfer guy character.
Yeah.
That we got a little bit of it in Encino Man, with the whistle.
Christ.
Was Encino Man before this?
That's a good question. And they're definitely both after Fast Times. So Fast Times, I think, really establish a specific persona to that valley surfer guy. Mm-hmm. And Sean Penn created that. And everything has been building off of those blocks from there. So this is meant to be, I think, the comedy version of that.
But I guess what I'm saying is that character was already a stereotype in real life.
Was Fast Times at Ridgemont High not a comedy?
It was not, no.
What?
No.
Oh my god!
I thought
what
this
is it?
whole
What is that?
time-
I gotta go watch it then because
Well, it's
I always thought it was a comedy too.
Me too.
no, it's like this kind of. It's not that stark. It's not that realistic, but it's kind of meant to be this stark exploration of what modern high school life was in early 1980s.
So is it like the Mean Girls of its time?
Well, even Mean Girls is a little whimsical and funny,
Yeah.
and this
Yeah.
wasn't quite that. It was
Oh.
it was
Then
definitely
they
more serious.
Fucked up on that advertising.
Yeah.
The Fast Times, we could do that whole thing as an episode, but it's fascinating. I'm a huge Cameron Crowe fan. Cameron Crowe famously was a writer for Rolling Stone when he was like his, maybe 18 years old. I can't remember. And he lied to them and told them he was like in his mid-20s, and they hired him as a staff columnist, and he went on tour with all these bands. It's basically the story that you see in Almost Famous.
Isn't that also the story of Elizabeth
Don't tell mom the
Banks's
babysitter.
character in
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
In Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah.
Also, don't tell mom the babysitter's dead.
Oh, really? I don't
Yeah.
remember that movie.
The oldest daughter does that. She lies about her age and takes her mom's resume and gets a job.
But also because he looked so young, he did this thing where he went to high school and enrolled in high school in his mid-20s and then wrote this amazing book about this is what your kids are doing in high school right
Wait,
now.
there's
Like
a lot
that
of
really
TV shows
happened?
that use
Yeah.
that as a plot too.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's Cameron Crowe's real life.
There's Never Been Kissed, which
Wow.
is pretty much that same exact plot.
Yeah, and he did that for real. And
It's
that's
interesting to think how that would just never happen in today with like the internet and fact checking.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm curious. You might be able to do it.
You could probably
Well, not
pass
me.
in high school.
Thanks.
Yeah, we were out to dinner like a week or two ago with Sam's parents, and she ordered a wine, and he's like, "Can I see your ID?" And Sam's mom's like, "How old do you think she is?" And he's like, I don't know, like 17.
Oh my
Like,
god.
at least give me the benefit of the doubt that I'm of legal drinking age, please. No.
Why does that upset you?
Sam's gonna be
Okay.
sad that people don't think she's an adult until they think she's an adult, and then she's like, "But I want to look young again."
No, it's being a girl, you get taken seriously never. And then when you look young,
Yeah, it's even worse.
it's even worse. And it's like, I'm not a stupid little kid. Stop treating me like it. That's why it makes me mad.
Okay, Sam,
Okay, honey,
it's time
can
for
we
your
get
nap
to the
time.
podcast now?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm a grown up.
It's not even funny. Gonna take your white male privilege and shove it up your ass.
Oh, burn.
It's cool. I got more.
Got all I
White,
need.
you have more white male privilege.
So much.
Oh,
I got
God.
buckets and buckets.
Yeah, he just got his 23andMe back, and he's not a minority, so suck it.
Oh, you're not Mexican after all?
All this time, my mom was right. We're Spanish.
Yeah, that fool's white.
Condolences. So I believe this is a great movie against all odds. This should be a steaming pile of garbage.
It really should.
Yeah.
but it's not.
I think it's really fun. And to be honest, I did not have any part in the poll. I've seen this kind of recently, definitely within the past 5 years. So it's not super fresh in my mind, but I remember it being quite good. I remember the opening scene, just like as the opening credits are rolling on screen, being irrationally enjoyable. It's weird.
I'm ready.
Like everything you look at in this movie should be dumb and low quality and terrible, and it's like, wow, this is really fun.
You see, I think I'm there with you because, like, my brain is like, you're not gonna like this movie at all. It's gonna be a trash movie, and but it's the kind of trash where like you're driving by and like someone threw out a working like flat screen TV, and you're just gonna pick it up and then you have a new TV, and it was trash, but man, you're gonna get a good use out of it.
This is an oddly specific example.
Yeah, what?
and extremely accurate description of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
It was excellent.
No, I've so am on board with the quality trash metaphor.
It so easily could have slipped into Dude, Where's My Car?
Yes.
Ooh,
Like it could have been that.
movie can't hold up, can it?
But I would also make the case that Dude, Where's My Car really easily could have been awesome, and it's no surprise that it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it could have been good.
I don't know that I've ever actually seen the whole film. I've just seen parts of it.
I had
think
it on
it's-
DVD. I watched it a lot, but
Pretty bad and also offensive.
Like wasn't
yeah.
wasn't Harold and Kumar good?
Yes.
But they're basically the same ingredients. So why the hell is Harold and Kumar good and Dude, Where's My Car so bad?
I think Harold and Kumar and Bill and Ted have a element of whimsy and like adventure that makes them fun. And plus they're very funny. As opposed to Dude, Where's My Car just relies really heavily on the trope of being dumb instead of
Kind of has like a weird, like a Seth MacFarlane. I'm gonna say something gross, and you're gonna laugh because you're uncomfortable and not because it's funny.
yeah.
That's definitely Dude, Where's My Car?
But it also makes me think, what are you doing here, George Carlin? Like, the movie's awesome and you're great in it, but why did you ever agree to do this? It looked like
Money.
such a dumb idea.
Well,
Sometimes
you
it just
would
works.
argue that George Carlin probably has a lot of stoner fans, and therefore he maybe thought, hey, this is a movie my fans will like,
Maybe.
so I'm a good fit, maybe?
But there wasn't even that, like, stoner culture in 89. I guess it was kind of starting to get started.
Dude, there was totally a stoner culture
Yeah.
in '89.
It was just hidden.
100%.
You just weren't the cool kid, Nick, so you didn't know about it.
I would say that stoner culture has been around since like the 70s.
Oh, yeah. The
Yeah,
60s.
but it was a different
Yeah, 60s was more like adult
different type
hipsies,
of
but-
deal, a different atmosphere.
I just came up with this, and I'm sorry if it's offensive to any of our professional comedian listeners or friends.
Oh boy.
No, but I
Cover your ears, Iffy.
I was just trying to think in the past, like I see a lot of like quality comedians just randomly in like just terrible movies sometimes. And I kind of feel like, because it's, pro comedians, like you do stand up, you're a stage comedian, and then if somebody offers you a movie, you're just going to do a fucking movie because why not?
Maybe, or could it be that we don't know anything about Stephen Herrick? Was he a stand-up? Does he have a bunch of friends who are stand-ups? Like when you see stand-ups in terrible movies, is it because they've got a friend who's been working up with them and turns out they're not great, but they're still like,
My
I
guess
got a
is
movie.
it's the promise of being able to have more creative control, right? Like these movies, it's a movie based on comedy. You can get in there, you can improvise, you can make it funny, you can have a lot of influence.
Maybe.
Like that would be my guess. Like
play
that'd
with
be
your
the
character.
appeal if you're a comedian. Like you're not a script writer. You're not going to write a feature length film.
Tell me how you feel about that after watching this movie.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of opportunities for George Carlin to improv in this.
He's not working his comedic muscle here.
Yeah. He's more playing a serious role.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that was the appeal. Step outside of comedy.
Had he done
I don't know.
films before this?
Not much.
Welcome
nothing
to
of
our
significance.
George Carlin conspiracy theory podcast where we try to discover what was George Carlin thinking. Maybe he was just fucking high at the time when he agreed to the film. It's like, sure, whatever.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I guess we've kind of got my expectations and Bret expectations here. What do you think, Sam?
I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm not gonna say this is gonna be like a cinematic masterpiece, but I think it will be fun.
But it'll be a musical masterpiece. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So I mean,
Stop.
don't interrupt me with that shit, man. Come on. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited to watch it again, but kind of middle of the road with my expectations.
That's fair. What do you think, Ash?
I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm not sure if I can vouch for it holding up at all because I just don't honestly remember much about this movie. What I remember is the second one, and the second one is the one that I love.
I wanted to talk quite a bit about the second one, maybe after we see it, because I also love The Bogus Journey.
Yes.
Wait,
and
this isn't The Bogus Journey?
no.
The Excellent Adventure.
Oh. Yes.
Oh, well, fuck this.
So that's the one that I remember more of. I don't remember much of this one, and I watched the trailer for it for like just a few seconds, and I was like, "Whoa, I really don't remember this movie." So I'm excited.
And all logic demands that the second one would be a super steaming pile of garbage.
Yeah,
And somehow it's fantastic.
it's
I don't
really
understand
great.
it.
So I think it'll be fun. I feel like I'll have fun watching this no matter what, because even if it is a bad movie, it would be like so laughably bad. It would be hilarious, you know? So, but the other thing I distinctly do remember that has like nothing to do with the actual film is the stage
Yes.
performance that Universal
Yes, I
Horror
didn't
Nights
mean to
would
bring
put
that
on,
up.
which was
That's
so
the garbage
great.
that this should have been all the time.
Well, but that wasn't the Bill and Ted thing good though?
I'm going to
Am I
shake my head
thinking-
no
Who
very
are you?
vigorously.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, the Bill and Ted thing was bad.
It was
That's
not.
right.
It was not only terrible in quality, but like really racist.
Yeah, and they tried to like shoehorn in all these like pop culture things. That's right.
So at some theme parks,
Yeah, it was
they've
super
got
bad.
live shows, actors doing some live show. And this was at Universal Studios, Bill and Ted's Whatever Adventure
Yeah.
live stage show. And it was basically they cherry picked all of these concepts that had been on
It was like-
YouTube for the past year.
Yeah, recent events of the past year of YouTube that they
And
would
tried
just
to stitch a story around it with Bill and Ted, and it was the
it did not
worst.
work. I remember you were so mad when we walked out.
Oh, I was
You were
furious.
so mad.
And it wasted so much time. We were there for Horror Nights, and it was like taking an hour and a half and lighting it on fire.
So they learned from that and replaced anything with words with the Jabberwockies. These guys just dance and move around and wiggle, and you look at those guys move around, and like who can be offended by that?
A good show.
It's
Yeah.
pretty good.
You wait, okay. Brett literally just said guys dancing around and wiggling and jumping around, and you said that sounds like a good show.
That's a testament to how bad the Bill and Ted show was.
Jabberwockies is pretty
I don't know.
entertaining.
Like, I don't think I'm the target audience for them, but it seems like that would be a good show.
I hear that it's like Stomp.
That was breakdancing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So that's what we're expecting from Bill and Ted.
Breakdancing.
I don't know if we should play this game, but do any of you have a favorite historical figure from this movie that you're excited to see?
Oh, not enough memory.
I don't remember them enough.
Isn't Abe Lincoln in this?
Yes.
That's the
think-
only one
and
I remember.
Napoleon?
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
I said Abe. No.
I said, "Hey, Blinken."
Who'd you say, Sam?
I said, "Isn't Napoleon in this?"
That's my boy.
Okay.
I love me some Napoleon in this movie.
If they remade this and put what's his name, the Hamilton guy?
Oh, Lin-Manuel Miranda
He'd
as
be
Hamilton.
so great.
Cool. So let's watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure from 1989.
Insert guitar sound.
So we're going to pause the recording, watch the movie, and let you know how we think. how we think.
Party on
Let you
Wayne.
know how our brains operate. Let you know what we think. Two heads are better than one. Double the pleasure, triple the fun.
I don't think we can continue with this.
Excellent.
It's like someone's terrible ringtone.
Party on, dude.
What did you guys think of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
It was all right.
Was it excellent?
I don't know if it was the most excellent.
Yeah.
I heard some laughings going on.
It was funny.
There's
Freud.
Freud and his little hot dog.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
The
that was
corn
great.
dog, yeah. There's stuff like that that I did not notice before, and yeah, that's pretty great. When in the mall, Sigmund Freud walks up holding the corn dog while Billy the kid is talking to the girls.
Yeah, we just watched it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding you.
I want to give people listening to the show context.
I'm just teasing.
So I totally get why George Carlin was in this movie.
Okay,
Do elaborate.
Because making a movie about a universe where everything that's ever happened has actually been unimportant, and the only thing that matters for the human race is two
Interesting.
stoners history test is George Carlin's fucking idea of spirituality.
well, I would say
They're
spirituality, but
fucking-
like truth.
Yeah.
This was like the most Keanu of Keanu.
Yeah.
Yes.
When Sigmund Freud analyzes him and he gets up and he's
And I'm curious to know if his woe in the Matrix is as Keanu as the woe in Bill and Ted.
I think it's a little more subdued. I think it's more of like a whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of like
kung fu.
I want to answer your question you asked initially, which was what's your favorite historical figure? And mine is totally Billy the Kid. I thought he was great. Or Beethoven. Beethoven was pretty cool too.
Really, Beethoven?
He was like
He didn't really do
jamming out.
anything.
he like rocked out in that music store.
Yeah.
Freud and his what is a geek?
Yeah. That was pretty great. Though
Yeah.
Napoleon was pretty awesome too.
Napoleon, I think, was
Yeah.
the best part. He's just like an ass, which is that's Napoleon.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like when he's like in the presentation, like describing the whole Battle of Waterloo, and Ted's like, "I don't think it's gonna work." That was pretty great.
Yeah, he just like fucking knocks all the pieces around.
Napoleon at the water park was probably
Yeah,
one of the best parts for sure.
like grabbing little kids and
Yeah.
like moving them so he can go on the slide.
Or there's even one part where he like grabs this girl on his way running up and he's like, you know, we don't hear the audio, but he's like clearly like saying something like, "Have you done this? It's amazing." You know?
Yeah.
He's so excited.
I just love that the water park was Waterloo.
Yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. Oh.
There's a lot of good jokes in this.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
So one of the things that most surprised me when I first moved to Southern California is that San Dimas is a real place.
Oh, is it? Interesting.
I always assumed that was something that they made up for this movie, but San Dimas is real.
Yeah.
It's probably not that exciting.
It could just as easily have been a made up place. Like, there's nothing important about being San Dimas.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like the writer's hometown. Because there was an awful lot of like, San Dimas is awesome, you know?
Dimas High School football rules.
Yeah.
But every high school's like that.
Yeah.
I mean, we grew up in Napa, and they were like, we had 2 football teams, and they were like, my football team's better than your football team. Nuh-uh, mine's better than yours.
You know which high school wasn't like that?
The
Well,
one
the
without
one that
it.
you
didn't
went
have
to.
one?
Yeah.
You don't fucking count because you had to apply to get into your high school. The rest of us plebes
Apply
were
is a loose term. They pretty much accepted anybody.
well,
You
I
had to
didn't know that.
express interest.
Yes.
Yes, you went to a cool high school. The rest of us plebes went to high school where they care about football. Except for Nick, apparently.
No, and I don't think they cared about football. Or I extra didn't care to the point
Again,
where
it's something Nick didn't know.
I,
he
I
wasn't
just
part of that
built
crowd.
walls. I had no idea.
Hey, barking dogs. So before we were talking about how this should be a trash movie.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna cut you.
One of the scenes was definitely like should have been the most garbage scene, which is Bill and Ted Go to the Future.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
It absolutely should have been the worst thing in the movie.
Yeah.
But
it's inspirational and
it's their completely bewildered looks.
yeah.
It makes this what the scene was supposed to be into a mockery of what the scene was supposed to be, and it's brilliant.
It also helps that as dumb as they are, they're very nice. They're kind,
Yeah.
generous
Yeah.
people, and that really helps.
Be excellent to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that like a movie stereotype or like a character stereotype? The very well-spoken idiot, because they were very like most excellent, like
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
like Joey.
almost talking fancy, but not.
Yeah. We cannot have a triumphant video unless we have Eddie Van Halen on guitar. It's like, why did you say cannot? But also the song in that scene, if you like listen to it, you could imagine Keanu Reeves being the singer. Like that sounds like it could be his voice.
There was
It
lyrics?
might have been.
I don't know.
I hope they went that far.
I've never heard Keanu sing anything ever, so
I'm sure we can YouTube that.
Also, I know they cut away, but I really kind of hope that George Carlin could rip on the guitar really hard.
I don't think that was him.
Because
No.
whether or not it was him or not, the hands matched up pretty well with what was supposed to be being played, which never happens when they do a close up on guitars.
There is this amazing scene in Star Trek The Next Generation. You remember how he gets the flute? Picard
Yes.
gets the flute. Then later there's this completely separate episode where he gets a girlfriend. Like
Yeah,
she works
I
on the
remember that.
ship.
Yes.
And the way they bond is she plays piano and he plays the flute. There's this amazing scene where it's framed where it's Picard's face, flute in his mouth, some other dude's hands
My God.
holding the flute and doing the finger on the flute. And Picard's just bobbing his head as he's playing. And once it registers that those are not his hands, it is the creepiest, most funny thing. It's so
Wow.
good.
Wow.
I want to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I really do.
So it's hard to take this movie seriously at all
What
because
the
Yeah,
fuck are
yeah,
you talking
what?
about?
what do you
Please
mean?
continue.
I'm just saying it's hard to critique this film because it doesn't take itself seriously. So it's
Okay.
I feel like
Gotcha.
basically there's serious like plot hole problems and issues like
Don't forget the trash can, dude.
yeah, or like I just rolled out of my armor,
Right.
but it's
It's just-
hard to even pick that apart because the whole film isn't taking itself seriously.
The way you said that, like,
Yeah,
it's hard to take this film seriously is like a guy saying, we should do a documentary about how McDonald's is unhealthy. Like, well, yeah.
So there's a lot of movies that don't take themselves seriously, and I think the best example is the one we were ripping on in the first half, which is Dude, Where's My Car? Mm-hmm. There was no seriousness taken in that film, and yet it was the fucking dumpster fire, and I think they kind of went into it with maybe the same attitude, but like, what separates this from that?
Well, like I said in the beginning, I think it's whimsy and like factual funny jokes.
They live in the cartooniverse.
Yeah, like the reason why the trash can, even though it is unbelievable, still works is because they've just kind of like broken all the rules because they just don't really, take any of the rules seriously. So it's like if I were to nitpick it, the trash can and the rolling out of the armor just seems so unbelievable, but it somehow it still works because the film just doesn't,
Yeah, I think it's the way it's set up. Like I've heard like Marshall Vandroff talk about The Princess Bride, how in the beginning the grandpa says, and even a miracle will happen, and that's why like when a miracle happens, it makes sense. So the starting point in the movie is in outer space, like with these future aliens. So it sets the tone of like ridiculous, untrue things can happen. So it doesn't feel out of place.
Yeah, and they kind of like slowed you into the complete zaniness because, I rolled out of my suit is like one really weird, unbelievable thing, but you're just like, all right.
Yeah.
And then, but then like by the end of the film, that whole chase sequence is just like a trash can falling out of the sky, or not the sky. It was just
The ceiling.
The ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like future Ted is up in the ceiling like Black Widow.
I
Dropping
guess.
trash
Yeah.
cans.
Like, or the fact that they have someone running these lights for them during their,
Yeah,
you
that's a
know,
little goofy.
It's all over the top, I think, and that's why it works, is because the whole movie is very over the top. Like the
Yeah.
aliens are wearing these sunglasses.
It's funny,
and-
aliens?
I'm sorry, I guess there aren't aliens.
I mean, I that's cool if that's what you're thinking. I never thought of them as aliens.
I thought of them as aliens.
Yeah, in the
I-
beginning of the film, I thought they were.
I mean, are they Time Lords?
Yes.
Well, they kind of did a thing about, you know, in the future we're like friends with the whole
Yeah,
galaxy or whatever.
extraterrestrials, household pets.
And you know, anything that humans can interact with, they will fuck.
Oh, Bret.
I think, Nick, you bring a good point, though. We need to address the elephant in the room that this film stole so much from Doctor Who.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that whole intro sequence is, you know, there's a TARDIS and it's getting the chameleon circuit applied to it, and it turns into the phone booth.
Also, all of the like transferring between time zones was very Doctor Who. Well, at least new Doctor Who. I haven't watched original Doctor Who, so I don't know what their
You mean
transitions.
the traveling in time?
Yeah.
Time periods, not time zones, because time zones are also a thing.
Time
Yeah.
periods. Sorry. Sorry.
That was crazy when they went to Central Time.
Anyway, yeah, when they traveled between the different decades and years and such, that was very Doctor Who.
Yeah, there's
totally.
a lot of Who stuff in this movie.
I definitely have to say that, and I mean, I don't have a lot of memory of the second one, but I still very strongly feel that I like the second one better because of the Grim Reaper.
Oh, yeah.
He was so great.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
They had a cool cast of characters, kind of like what you said about Beethoven, is like the only one that really felt like they were doing anything was Napoleon. And even then I felt like they could have done more, like with him and the other characters. Like they could have, you know, so what I like about the second one is the Grim Reaper kind of like travels with them, and
Yeah.
he's like this third character that just adds a third dynamic to the group, which I think is great.
Yeah. And then that weird alien station. Do you remember
I
that?
don't remember much. Yeah. I just remember really liking the Grim Reaper, and he
Yeah.
has like a. isn't
They
he-
have to win a game against him.
He has like a funny accent,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, I think they were trying to do. Oh man. Okay, what's this movie?
And by funny, I just mean funny choice for the Grim Reaper.
Yeah, but I think it's a Swedish movie where he plays chess against the Grim Reaper. No,
I don't know.
nobody remembers this.
I feel like I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
I'm gonna get there.
But you know, it's like even because the other thing that I would pick apart in this film would be that the women were kind of the prize.
Yep.
But even the fact that the women were the prize, I have to say, is the right choice for this film because of who those characters are. And like, you know, it's just like somehow still kind of works because it's this like 80s feeling film
It was
of,
a
you know,
trope.
rock and roll. And like for the rock
Yeah.
star, the goal is to get the women, and, you know, like,
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like they could have spun it just a little bit differently to like not make it so weird. Like it was just weird because the like alien or future guy went back in time and took them and like literally gave them like prizes. That was like the way it was set up. It could have been like, hey, like they wanted to come to your future time so they didn't have to marry these guys. Like they really liked you and
Yeah.
they chose to come. And plus they're going to be in your band. Like
Yeah.
that would have been a little bit cooler. Like it's
I think as far as the really flimsy logic in this movie goes, though,
Yeah.
they set that up. Like, because that was that whole sequence was like, oh, the princesses totally dig us. And then, like, they had to leave. So at least it wasn't
Yeah.
just like, here's 2 chicks that we grabbed for you.
That's
like,
true.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they weren't random chicks, but it's just a little subtle thing that could have made it a little more modern.
speaking of appropriate for the time period, but the reverse, super inappropriate, I guess, for today. Their bro hug with the
Oh, yeah.
With the what?
the fags.
Yeah, they hugged and then called each other fags.
Oh, yeah.
That brings me to something I was really thinking about recently because Luna and I just watched Blues Brothers before going to Chicago. And there is stuff that is disturbing.
Really?
So in this movie, in Bill and Ted, Billy the Kid on stage in a high school pulls out a gun, shoots a light.
yeah.
Whoa.
Should have been tackled and sent to jail immediately.
But stop and remember this. In Blues Brothers, there is a group of Nazis who won their court case and were having a Nazi demonstration in Chicago. There were protesters there, crowds of people nearly violent yelling at the Nazis during their demonstration. And Elwood drove his car into the crowd.
Oh, no.
This happened in Blues Brothers.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it's hilarious. Every year before this year, it's hilarious. Isn't that disturbing?
Yeah.
That's scary.
Way to bring us down, Nick.
Yeah.
And also Carrie Fisher the whole time chasing them with like missile launchers and automatic weapons.
I forgot Carrie
I
Fisher
really
was
don't.
in-
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't remember much of the movie.
Oh.
We were saving it
that's
for the podcast.
crazy.
We were
Yeah.
saving it for the podcast, but then you went and
Betrayed
watched
us.
Sometimes you
Whatever.
have to watch movies.
You never have to watch a movie. It is a choice.
Wow. Hashtag
Did
not all
they
movies.
did they fucking Clockwork Orange you and hold your eyes open
Yeah.
and strap you in a chair to watch it?
Was Luna like, sit the fuck down, Nick? We're watching this film.
Or rather, are you actually going to go to Chicago and not watch Blues Brothers?
Yeah, we did it this year already.
Well, then you are dumb.
We've let Nick down. Anyway, that's super fucked up.
Yeah.
And like, I don't even know. Like, I can't even form an opinion right now of your story. Like, it's just shocking.
Yeah. It's weird how
Is
things
it like they
change.
swerve and miss the Nazis and go into the crowd instead?
Well, no, they drive into the crowd of Nazis and Nazis jump into the river below.
Oh, so it's
So-
not like they avoided the Nazis.
They're headed towards the
yeah,
Nazis.
it was like intentional.
Well, no, like in this case, it was Elwood driving at the Nazis.
Gotcha.
But the whole picture of, a Nazi demonstration,
Yeah, with the
crowds, it turns violent, a car plows into it. It's like, it's hard to watch the end of Fight Club
Yeah.
when they knock down the buildings. It's,
At least they emptied those buildings.
oh, yeah. Yeah, things are now, like, these visuals are quite a bit different now.
But also, Billy the Kid shooting a gun in the school was a bigger whoa moment years ago. Like it there was a time whenever like something like that happened in a movie, and it was just like, oh fuck. But like, even though there's still more school shootings, I feel like the farther away from Columbine we get, like horrifyingly, the more normalized that imagery is.
Yeah. There was literally a school shooting like 1 or 2 days ago.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow, this is the Bringing Down podcast.
We need Bill
How
and
did we
Ted
get-
to save our society.
So other stuff that meshes with today. So you guys have heard this science theory
That's what
that
they call it. This is our science.
this movie fully fits into a current, like, what is the universe theory, which is we're living in a simulation because they didn't go back in time. They went on the circuits of whatever fucking computer they were in and ran a past program exe. Like,
What they
Went to
did
the
was
Wayback website.
they loaded up the screensaver and then
Bill and
rebooted the 90s screensaver and traveled through the 90s screensaver.
but they were like really clear about these are the circuits of time. Like, they live in a computer. That's the simulated reality.
So he was really just in the Matrix the whole time?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He never left.
Keanu's
Whoa.
every role is the
You have
Matrix.
a whoa-gasm.
This is Keanu's character before he got plugged into the Matrix.
This is his origin
the
story.
prequel.
Yeah, the origin story. I love it.
Because we never learned Neo's name, real person name, right?
Yeah,
oh, Mr.
Mr.
Anderson.
Anderson.
What's his first? I don't remember. They probably
it's
said
Tom.
it. Not Ted.
Anderson.
Ted Theodore Anderson.
I really liked the like added sound effects, which I think also helped make it feel cartoony and
Like when Ted hit that medieval guy over the head and he had Tweety birds.
Yeah.
or like the guitar sounds,
Oh, yeah.
or just like various different fun. They went really over the top when they did the outhouse guy. That was so
Yes.
over the
I
top.
really like that. And I remember it being, look out for the horse shit, Ted.
Oh yeah,
But he
It was
said, look out
crap.
for the horse crap, Ted.
Couldn't say shit yet.
That's
But
another
they
one.
left
It's-
fag in there.
This movie has two lines that I find myself saying a lot that I shouldn't say because there's no context. And look out for the horse shit, Ted, is something that I say. And insanely, San Dimas High School football rules. That just
You
sounds
do
like
say
I'm
that a
really-
lot.
I'm really into San Dimas High School.
Which gets creepier the older
It's
you
such a
get.
great line, like when you're completely like nervous and confused and you don't know what to say. San Dimas High School football rules.
Speaking of creepier, the older you get, fucking
Hello.
the dad.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Now
He's like, get out of your
for it
room.
in your own room.
Gross.
It's so gross.
It was gross, but at the same time, like
Kind of
they-
accurate for the time and place.
Sure.
Really? Do you think somebody would in their kids' room?
Oh, but I mean,
Oh.
like the divorced father hooking up with the much younger girl
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
who went to school with his son.
I mean, aside from the age difference, they actually had like a very healthy relationship. Like they both
Yeah.
went to the kids' presentation.
Yeah, and they're like cheering
and
him
then
on.
they're like so happy for him. Like,
Healthy relationship with each other.
Yes.
But definitely not with their kid.
I mean, she was trying really hard to be a good mom.
Well,
She like brought him snacks. She made him do his chores.
she drove them everywhere.
She did drive them
to the
everywhere.
mall,
You have a point.
then to the water
Yeah.
park, then
Yeah.
back to the mall, then to the police station, then to the high
It's
school.
actually
But, like,
really because of her that they even succeeded.
Yes. And like she set
they did their
boundaries. Like
chores.
she wouldn't drive them until they did their chores.
So his dad's just a creepy dude.
Yes. I mean, that's not disputable. But
Have your parents ever gone for it in your bed?
Oh God, I don't want to know.
Stop.
definitely stop. Yeah, they
And
could
you're
have.
welcome.
I mean, as most of these older films, they could have handled women better. Like, why
Yeah.
does Joan of Arc like into aerobics for some random
Because she
reason?
went to the 80s and immediately developed body image issues.
I think they ran out of stuff to do with some of those characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's unfortunate she couldn't. Like, she could have done the scene that Genghis Khan did.
Yeah.
That would have been
totally.
way cooler.
Oh, but okay, but like reading into maybe the things she did do in this movie a little more, she sees what appears to be like a class of all women led by a woman being athletic. Like that's probably
Yeah.
the dopest shit
All
for
right.
her.
All right.
Okay.
I'll allow
Either
it.
that or if there had been a chapel in that mall.
That
could
was
have
the
been
thing I
something.
was thinking. Is like, obviously, if there was like a God stuff store, whatever they're
Oh, yeah,
called,
God stuff store.
God stuff store.
Yeah.
I think that is what they're called.
God.
I mean, I think what would have sold it just a little bit better is if, like, instead of immediately going into the 80s aerobics, she started, like, teaching them fight moves.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
that
that would have made more
That
sense.
would have made a little bit more sense.
yeah.
At least they did have during the school presentation. She was doing the fighting,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
but somehow Alex Winter was able to fight. Like, how is that a demonstration of her skill? If some random
Again,
dopey
you can't
high school
apply
guy.
logic to this.
I mean,
So
unless
this
she's
is-
teaching him to fight on stage.
My theory is that they skipped their presentation and then learned all that shit. And
then went back in time.
And then went back in time and did the presentation.
But then-
because there's
okay.
no way they had enough time.
But I know, but
the
they
lighting
said
rig and
in the
everything.
beginning the clock in San Dimas still runs the same.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
But, they went to 1 million BC San Dimas. They could have,
and future Ted was able to come back and fucking drop a garbage can on his dad.
Somebody dropped a
they were-
garbage can. We don't know.
They were
who.
crossing all over their timeline.
yeah, but I see
Yeah.
what you're saying. Their real time was still, yeah. Mm-hmm. But I did enjoy how they crossed over to the beginning of Encino Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I was gonna say it almost feels like Encino Man is just the the
The
next
sequel to
chapter.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So one of the other things I think that really sold this movie as quality content instead of the trash movie is the actual plot that they came up with, where I feel like a worse movie would have been a time traveling movie, but this really wasn't a time traveling movie. This was a let's kidnap history movie, and most of it took place in San Dimas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And the one that the Try Hard movie would have been two stoner dudes go back in to old times and hilarity while they're whatever, and it would have been a weird unfunny period piece. But no, this was just let's fucking kidnap Abraham Lincoln.
And also,
it would have been the D&D movie is what it would have been.
That would have been rad.
I'm
No,
super
the D&D
impressed.
movie is not good.
It's not good.
No.
I thought you were saying it would be a D&D movie.
No, I was saying
There's
it
an
would be-
actual D&D?
There is an actual D&D movie and it's horrible.
I'm super impressed that their presentation was a really good presentation for the assignment. It was, how would specific historical figures react to San Dimas of
Today.
modern day?
Which
And they
made it-
answered that a question for every single one.
which made dropping them off at the mall make sense because they were like, okay, go experience it for a while. Yeah.
That was all essential to the assignment.
Yeah.
They did a really good job on this assignment.
Yeah.
You know?
thinking that.
They earned that grade.
I mean,
Yeah.
it certainly was more fucking entertaining than the other students with their shitty, boring.
Yeah.
God, every single action is so central to the plot. They never really. Wow.
It's a tight plot, and
Yeah.
like
There's even the one scene that I thought was garbage, but again, it was needed for the plot, is they're in the suits of armor and they start playing Star Wars Sword. And I was like, this is the moment where the film became trash. You guys shouldn't have hung on this long. This shouldn't have been a thing. But then they had to do it so that he fell down the stairs.
yeah. And then they've got the horse carriage with the phone booth behind.
Yeah.
And of course, Billy the Kid can drive a horse carriage. You know,
Oh, yeah.
This stuff makes sense and it works. It's weird.
The other thing I like is I feel like it's really easy to treat a character that you couldn't communicate with from the past like a total idiot. And they didn't do that. Except with Genghis Khan a little bit. But
the Twinkie thing.
yeah. Genghis Khan was definitely the dumb one.
Yeah.
But with So Crates, they definitely he was an intelligent individual, and it wasn't it felt like they were going to go that direction when they told Billy the Kid to babysit him, basically.
But there was no revolving door scene with any of them.
God. Yeah.
So yeah, no, totally. They really played that well. I think what we're all saying is this was a very well written movie.
Surprisingly, yeah. Why are we all saying that? What?
Because I watched the trailer. It looks like a dumb movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
It
trailer.
It looks like garbage.
Trailer doesn't look great. I mean, I don't think it's the best movie ever, but I definitely think it's entertaining, you
Yeah.
know? And it was fun. I think there's problems, but you just
Yeah, the
sort
Grim
of
Reaper's not in it.
go along with it, you know?
Totally. I mean, the whole, yeah, dude, let's remember after our presentation to go back 2 days and steal the keys and put them right here behind the sign.
Yeah.
I just, I shouldn't have liked that scene, but I really liked it.
It's almost
so
like
funny.
It's almost like, and maybe I'm just saying this because we just watched it, but we were just watching the newest season of Rick and Morty, where it's almost like Rick and Morty, where there's dumb shit happening, like butts farting on screen, but it's so funny for some reason.
Because it has this
and
underlying clever.
Butts
Yeah.
farting on screen.
Well, what really makes the keys thing clever and not just like we wrote ourselves into a corner is there was a whole scene about how like the dad was accusing him of stealing the keys and he's like, I didn't fucking steal the keys.
Yeah.
And then he did. And
Yeah.
And also how it's pretty solid reasoning and use of the time machine.
Yeah.
Like it all
Well,
works.
also, like the way they set it up too is like it's a plant and a payoff. Like it's a well thought out story plot. Though in the moment it seems like it isn't.
See, if it was a I'm not going to rip on Stephen Moffat. I'm going to cut out that.
Yeah, this is becoming the Hate Stephen Moffat podcast.
But okay, but that's, I guess that's the only example I have is like if it was a Doctor Who episode, there would have been no previous setup.
Yeah.
And he would have been running around and he's like, oh no, we're like in a situation that we can't get out of. But if I knew I was going to be here in the future and we make it out of this, I would have left the keys right here. And like it would have just been random and
that
shitty.
scene is exactly when they're in the museum after the Pandoricum. And he's
Spoiler
like,
alert.
I need a mop. And like the mop appears.
Stephen Moffat. Sorry.
But yeah, that scene you're describing is
Mop it in
absolutely
post.
in there.
Yeah, so it's like the difference between it, it's just setups and just randomness. So I think it worked really well in this.
I will say though, Keanu's dad is the worst character in the
He's
movie.
a terrible dad.
I mean,
I enjoyed him though. Like in the end, when they're going to the school and the two dads are fighting,
I wanted to see dad fight for
that was
sure.
so fun.
But I just mean like the writing for his character is so bad. Like even I understand you're supposed to hate him. I get it. But I just think he's like, okay, I'll use the example of you always bring up Winona Ryder in Stranger Things having one note. Like he's so one note.
Yeah.
Like he's just completely one shade.
Yeah.
Like
And-
so much that he didn't even say hi to his kid when he showed up
Yeah.
at the police station, and
He's not even like, what are you doing here? Why are you here?
he just walks in and he says, "Pack your bags."
Pack your bags. Like
There was an opportunity at the end of the presentation for him to realize, he just did a good job, but they didn't take
But we
advantage
never-
of that
yeah.
opportunity.
he's just like the most shallow, unfleshed out character.
Yeah. He was a means to an end.
But we did get a good analysis of him from Freud.
Yeah.
So what are our final thoughts on this excellent adventure?
I really like this. This was a good movie. It's one of those things where I think what sticks with me actually, just because I can't let go of small shit, is that they were making the gay jokes in that one part,
Yeah.
and it's just like in a pretty much otherwise like really clean family fun movie, they had like that one really mean joke in there, and then like the women is
were the
prize
prize, yeah.
thing at the
All
end.
right, so here's a question, and it's not something I'm taking a stance on. It's just an interesting thought. Is that a problem with this movie, or is that a symptom of a systematic problem that existed in the 80s, and that was normal behavior in the 80s? Is that the problem?
It was definitely normal behavior, but like
I feel like the fag line in particular, like, is very out of place because these two characters, I don't feel like that line was right for the characters because these two characters their whole motto is be excellent to each other. And like they clearly really like each other and they're really good friends.
and they spend the
otherwise,
whole movie touching bodies in the freaking time machine.
And otherwise,
never do
they're
that.
really nice to each other and they never call each other names or anything. Like, it didn't feel like a right decision for these characters. Like, an average teenage boy of that era, I understand, but these guys in particular didn't feel like they would ever say that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I disagree because that was so normal. I know I said stuff like that as a teenager, and it's just how the world was when you didn't stop and think about how bad that was. It was probably just completely normal behavior to them. Like, that was in Police Academy. It's like, what was it? Commandant Lassard thought Mahoney had kissed a guy, and that was like completely disgusting and unacceptable. Because that's just how that was normal to people in the 80s.
I don't have the right words for why it still doesn't fit, but I disagree. I think it was
I appreciate like those characters don't seem like they would do or say anything cruel, and I appreciate that. But I just don't think that seemed like a cruel thing. It just seemed like a funny thing to them.
I guess it just
at that time and place.
To me, it sounds like something one of those football jocks would have said to them.
Yeah.
Like that would have fit. But like them saying it to each other just feels wrong to me.
I mean,
it felt like a cheap punchline.
I get that
I feel like they
high
wrote it
schoolers
in as
would
a
say
joke.
Yeah.
Like it was supposed to be funny for the reasons you said. In the 80s, that was normal. Like I think it's supposed to be a joke, but it's just not. It doesn't actually fit the characters.
And I roll it back to the writer's room, because it's not would Bill and Ted high school students say this? There were adults that wrote this movie who decided to add that joke in. Yeah. And I think that's where it's weird. It's not like if it was, a documentary where kids were walking around like calling each other fag, like that was a thing for until like the late 90s. Like people were not self-aware, and it was shitty.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but adults wrote this movie, and that's where it's weird. It wasn't a documentary about how kids actually act. Nothing in this movie is about how people actually act.
For example,
which is an interesting point, because this is how adults think the Valley Kid behaves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, look at Encino Man is another film with the same type of characters. And they never, they didn't feel like they crossed this weird line like that. I don't know. And like you said, it could be we're reacting really strongly to it because to us it feels really wrong. Like when it happened, Bret and I were both like, whoa.
Whoa. And I'm always brought back to that Todd Glass quote about if a joke is about the core of what a person is and not something more superficial to make fun of, then it's probably a joke that's on the wrong side of history. And if you're laughing just because someone's gay, that's not a good joke. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like one of the quotes that's really stuck with me the most over the time. And it's like, whenever I see it, it's like it's the one thing that'll always bother me about this movie now is it was fantastic except for that one joke. So, but anyway, that is my overall review of the movie, is that I really loved it, and I just wish that one thing wasn't in here.
Okay.
Two things, yes. Yes, two things. But more one than the other, I think. But because the other one is just like, you could handle that differently, but that was just a joke.
Well, here's the difference is that we're still not over the second thing. Like, it's still commonplace to us now in storytelling for women as prizes, women to be objectified. So it doesn't feel as bad.
Yeah.
As a woman, it feels worse.
I know you and Ash were just like, oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
and it's like a micro aggression is what I've heard it described as. Is it's a microaggression towards women where it's not like in your face aggressive like the fag thing is, but it is an aggression towards women,
normalizing that attitude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they kind of saved it with them being in the band.
Yeah, I like that they're in the band. I felt like that definitely at least softened it. It's like, cool, they got some creative. But what I don't like is that they're not on the cover of
they're not on the cover. And then the way he says it is like, oh, and I guess have the girls sign it too. I mean, they are in the band. Like, why weren't they a bigger deal if they're also in the band?
Yeah, and they're not important in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, that part, the part bothers me, but it's also Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Like, I can't judge it too harshly.
It's, like I said, it's, like, right for those characters in a weird way, so it kind of works, because it's just, like, that's what a teenage boy would want, is guitars and women.
Exactly. But
you win a lifetime supply of guitars and women.
Oh no. That's just
Yeah, I thought this was really fun. Like you were saying, just aside from those two things, like it was really entertaining. I do kind of wish there was more history time. But that's just me. Like I really like genre.
You're just a nerd.
I am, and I'm proud of it.
If you think about it, if there was a movie where people traveled back in time to Billy the Kid days, there would be a lot of locations and a lot of exploration of that space. But when you go to 7 different time periods with 7 different scenarios and set designs, and that's a lot for a movie that clearly was not a huge budget movie.
Yeah. And a lot for the time. Like, what? You have 2 hours max to do all of this? Like, you really only have time for a couple short scenes, if that, in each location.
All those for not a high budget movie, like the Beethoven scene looked like a pretty well designed, like, and costumed single set, and they were there for 20 seconds.
I agree. However, I think that there are standing sets and costumes that they rent from prop shops. We were all saying that the bar in the cowboy town looked like something we've seen in 100 movies, and it probably is.
I don't know. It doesn't look like anything to me.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they went to some American monument that had stolen the Greek column architecture, you know, and just shot that scene right there.
Yeah.
Somewhere in San Dimas is all of this stuff.
Right.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
That would be
It's like a plot twist. They didn't actually go back in time. They just got high and actually learned all the shit.
Just homeless people.
Oh my god. I kind of want that version of
I
this
do
film.
too. Okay, let's remake it.
The like smoke clears and
Bill
like
and Ted's
whoa.
actual adventure.
Yeah. And we like cut back and forth to them in their bedroom, like acting out the shit.
Wait, would they be high, or would they just
They're
be like
high
on an acid
in the
trip?
bedroom. They could be on acid too.
Oh, no, they're definitely at the Circle K asking people when the Mongols ruled China.
Oh yeah.
You know, messing with people trying to
I have to
just make
say-
a phone call.
I could not answer that question. Could you?
I can now.
Yeah, I can't. That's funny. is
You are the nerd.
I was thinking and I was about to come up with it, and then I realized all the information I got from this movie.
Oh, so I looked it up. The percentage of the people they tested in with the relation to Genghis Khan, 8% of living people in that Asia area that they tested. I'm not sure where they tested exactly.
In Mongolia, maybe?
That's a lot.
I think it was over a wider
China.
area, if I remember the article correctly. But
Wow.
one man. Damn, how many chicks did he lay a day? Jesus.
All he wanted.
Yeah,
Unless
So-
there were Twinkies, then
apparently.
yeah.
It was still all that he wanted. Every single one that he wanted. So yeah, it was for me. It was still really good. Like I had seen it recently, so I knew going into it what to expect, and I still really like it. I felt like there was something specific I was going to say. I did really like when he was saying, "You've really adapted to the oddity of time travel very well." I just love the good-natured, nice mentality from these characters.
Yeah, and I think like from the 80s too, there's a lot of like bullying scenes. And I like that wasn't in this. And I like
Except
that they
for the ice cream shaming scene where they called
Oh.
him a piggy.
Yeah,
But
but that
even-
wasn't like a class bully, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's something about 80s movies that I
Oh,
think
yeah.
like normalized bullying.
Even the teacher, like you could have written this teacher as like, "You idiots haven't paid attention in class all year, and I'm gonna flunk you." It's like, I'm sorry, guys, I can't. I have to flunk you if you can't.
Yeah,
come
he
through
seemed like
this.
he really actually cared about their success.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked it. I think it's still excellent. Ash,
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun. Again, I don't think it's like the best movie ever, but I think it was fun, and I'd honestly like to see like a more modern day version of
too.
this. I think that would be really fun too.
With
right.
Alana and
Alana.
And
Oh my gosh.
what's her other
Yeah,
name?
the
from
Broad
Broad
City
City?
girls.
Broad City.
That would be pretty
They
funny.
would be the fucking best.
That would be pretty good.
Well, you know, there's a lot of talk that keeps coming up. Are they going to do a third movie?
oh, really?
And it could be like Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves in the future. And then there's a different set of time travelers. Mm-hmm. And
They just
it
make
could
like
be
a-
the Broad City people.
Or they're
Yeah.
they're the George Carlin character, basically. Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, I'm really interested to watch Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure now because I just feel like I like that one better, but I'm not 100% sure. I still enjoyed
great
this
stuff.
one.
I still listen to the soundtrack from Bogus Journey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some great Steve Vai stuff in there.
Yeah, the soundtrack in this was great.
Yeah, it was kind of garbage, junky 80s movie music, but it was kind of the best version of that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
some of these songs.
It was fun. I do wish those other things didn't happen that we already talked about, but
When did this come out?
89.
Okay. I mean, so like the soundtrack stuff and the thing I was talking about earlier about, the weird scene that was made good because it just seemed like the writers were aware of what they were writing and how it was a mature genre. Like the stuff has been done. And so this is their time to like riff on it and do the best possible version of all of this stuff that had been done so many times by then.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure. So that was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Woo. If you like this,
Excellent.
Party on.
isn't it the wrong movie, Sam?
No, they fucking say party
Did
on.
they? Oh.
Be
party
asking
on,
to each
dude.
other and
Oh my
party
god!
on.
Yeah, you're right. That's
Take
just the
it
same
back.
thing as
I
Wayne's
know.
World. Why is it the same?
Because they're all the same movie. It's all canon together.
Wayne's World is kind of like us, except the media for everyone of the day back then was public access TV, and now it's podcasting. We are Wayne's World.
Okay.
Party on.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. Anyway, if you like the show, it's part of the Laugh-TV network of content. It's a podcast and a YouTube channel with cooking show and drinking show.
Excellent YouTube channel.
It is a pretty excellent YouTube channel. Did I say drinking show, video game parodies? Ash does things other than that sometimes.
Sometimes. No air guitar, but fun things. So yeah, and also you can follow us on Twitter. We're at Laugh-TV on Twitter, and you can follow this podcast specifically at Let's Rewatch, where we do stuff like we tweeted a poll for this one, so you guys chose it. So thanks for choosing an excellent movie.
If you like this podcast, please give us a glowing review on iTunes or Google Play Music. We are half a star away from 5 stars. And if we make it to 5 stars, we'll get promoted and we'll get more awesome listeners like you guys. So thanks.
And it'll be excellent. So party on, dudes.
Yeah.
Party on to
Did you
iTunes.
just say dubes?
Dudes.
Dubes.
So make sure your podcast feeds are up to date. We'll be doing this every 2 weeks, and we'll see you next time for another episode of Let's Rewatch.
Fuck, man. Next time we're going to watch Kenny Rogers in McShane, the final roll of the dice.
Oh. My Nana went on a date with Kenny Rogers.
Hey, what? Did you